Alright, well this is the first video I'm going to do on this. This is my 1987 Toyota pickup. I am currently swapping a 1U ZFE from a 1991 Lexus LS400 into it, as well as S13 Nissan 240SX front suspension. Already have the subframe in. Driver's side strut tower is started, and today I am going to be working on the passenger side strut tower. Along with all that, I am doing a triangulated 4-link in the rear. I have not started that yet. I'm doing fiberglass over fenders off of a 4Runner. So those have been cut and fitted for the first time. This side obviously is not installed. This side is installed. So gives you a rough idea about what that's gonna look like. I have a Ford 8.8 that I've put together. I don't have it at the shop currently. Welded diff, re-drilled the hubs to 4x114 because I'm actually going to be running some cool little 15s on this, hopefully. The coilovers I have for the rear are these QA1s right here. So these here, they're very short, but I will be doing a cantilevered setup. So I'm doing a 2-to-1 ratio. So these are an 8 kg per millimeter spring. So with a 2-to-1 ratio, it should feel like 4 kg, which is nice and soft and good for the back of a light pickup truck. And in the front, I have these coilovers. They're kind of hodgepodge together. Really cool Apexi Japan coilovers. My buddy Matt Gear hooked me up with. They have JIC camber plates. Also, while we're here, you can see the strut tops that I made. Me and my coworker Brad made them up on the mill at work, so I have some caster adjustment right from the top. These are kind of just placeholder springs at the moment. They're a 16 kg per millimeter, which is going to be way too stiff. Hoping to run something in the 10 to 12 range. When I got these coilovers, the lower mounting bracket was just rounded off. Somebody had cut off the mounts, so I had to make some. I mean, they're not the prettiest, but they do the job, which is all I care about. They work well, and we have some BC Works 15 or 20 mil extended lower control arms. BC Works modded knuckles. So you can see they've been shortened and Ackerman adjusted. Just some whatever Godspeed tension rods have been relocated about an inch inward to help with wheel clearance, and actually now with the 15s I hit right about there on the control arm, so I'm gonna have to figure something out with that. Don't have the rotor on here, but those are Q45 brakes. The rotors are drilled to fit the 4-bolt hub. And I have PBM inner tie rods with the built-in spacer, and then just whatever outers, not hooked up to the rack yet. But that's where we're at with that. And steering column is a modified S13 column. I basically just cut the mounts off the S13 column where it mounts to the dash bar, and cut the ones off the Toyota column, welded them to the S13 column, and it fit really well. Had to cut away at the firewall a little bit, but nothing too crazy. in here. I'll get a better photo of it and video of it once it's out of the bay, but that is a 3VZE flywheel, taken from like a 92 Toyota pickup, 3-liter. We had to move the ring gear back about 2.5 millimeters. I pulled 6.2 millimeters out of the mounting surface, and we had to open up the center bore and the bolt pattern just a little bit to fit the 1UZ crank. I'll be using ARP flywheel bolts for a 4AG to go on those, and for now, stock W56 from the truck. This is going to be kind of just a street truck slash drift truck, but I'm trying to keep it nice, so once it's all done, it should be pretty. Anyway, gonna make the passenger side tower today. Hopefully I can get that filmed and get a video together. All right, got the bender set up. I got my piece of 1.5" 095 ERW cut to length. Gonna clean up the end now and make our first bend. I only have that much left, so hopefully I don't screw this up. Here we go. Second bend in the second strut tower. See how she does.
Strong man. Dude, I went back to
Just ERW.
I went back to bend that drum yesterday after bending the 1-inch. I was like, oh my fuck.
When I came back to even bending this from the 1-inch, I was just like, oh my god. And this is easy.
Way easier.
Yeah. Don't mind the loose butthole fucking welder here. Does the job though, right, Willow? Willow doesn't give a fuck. 60 degrees. Almost there. Using this last notch on the bender is so sketchy, but it works.
I just don't use it.
Okay. See if I can get these to line up. What are we at? 67. Oh, 75. 80. And, oh fuck. I just have to go a wee little bit here. Excuse me. That's it. Sits like
at that. Almost there. This is where it starts to get a bit tricky. We did this bend in the other tube and this bend. Now we have to do this tiny little 15 and then this 45 and then that 45 and then that 50-degree bend. And all these little guys. Wish me luck. Okay, well I did a test fit. It's kind of hard to show with only one hand and filming, but with that sitting there, that sits right there as it should. You can kind of see down there, it matches up to the frame. Fits there, comes straight through. And then, as you can see on that side, I gotta put a 45 about where my hand is. And to do that, I am going to take the angle from this bar and then the angle from this bar, because you can see they aren't quite the same. Split the difference, put this angle at this bar here at the slightly different angle that it should be at, and then make my bend. Once I have that done, I put this bar to 0 degrees in the bender, and then I make this bend. And hopefully that works. We will see. Willow doesn't care, but it's getting there. It is really getting there. Have this side all bent up and tacked in. Landing plates made, cleaned up. Obviously cleaning up more, but just needed enough cleanup to get some tacks going. There's a little bit of an issue right here. Need to build a little plate that goes like that. But I also think that the angle of the strut top is slightly different than that side. So I'll measure that and adjust it if I need to. Get the landing plate made for this side, tacked in. Now I get to make all the 1-inch tube stuff, but it is symmetrical enough for my liking. Very happy with it. These little tubes, believe it or not, are very tricky. It's just a straight up flat bend, but getting the notches done correctly was a bit of a nightmare. I had no idea what I was doing the first time. This time around should be a bit easier. So, next video update will be, hopefully, with some more tubing in there. We shall see. There it is, on the ground. Just temporarily at the moment. Still going to take a bar from here, up to here, and down to there. And that'll add a bunch of support. And yeah, should be good. Figure since I'm showing off stuff I'm doing so much, I should probably show off this little ripper. Marshall's car is gonna be mental.
I don't know, like,
As you're
trying to
fumbling
balance
tube.
stuff.
Yeah, it
Ta-da!
seems pretty crazy. 6-liter LS. Twin turbos. Full FD spec cage in the works. And rear rad setup. Very cool. Very, very cool. And yeah, Marshall's got a pretty cool story. Whoops. You should go check him out. He's got a YouTube channel. DRMZ Team on YouTube. Check it out. This is Willow.
Willow's a little cutie. Aren't you, Willow?
Willow disapproves of Dad's projects. Dad doesn't disapprove of Dad's projects. Because this thing is going to be fucking sweet. Next up, I gotta make tension rod brackets, because right now I got the old Bluetooth tension rods. They don't work that great. Oh yeah, and you can see my Wi-Fi tie rods in there as well. Not doing too good.